our sovereignty. Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security. I assure the nation that the government has mobilized all resources at the nation's disposal to ensure that a situation of this nature will not recur again at whatever cost. I thank our security officers who are on duty today for applying themselves to the best of their abilities in the defense of Kenya and its people. Accordingly, I have directed all the organs of our national security to deploy measures to thwart any attempt by dangerous criminals to undermine the security and stability of our country. As the people of Kenya go to bed tonight, I give you my assurance that your security, that of your families and property, remains my utmost priority. To the young people of Kenya, who I must thank for helping our country organize our democratic discourse around issues, I thank you and assure you that the conversation you have begun around pertinent issues of our nation will continue to inform our policy and governance decisions. As I promised on Sunday, this conversation will not be in vain. I will not only champion for the cause of issue-based, policy-oriented, and tribeless engagement on critical national issues, but also provide a framework for this conversation to be processed and its outcomes implemented. However, our national conversation on any subject matter must be conducted in a manner that respects and honors the foundational values upon which our nation is established, namely constitutionalism, the rule of law, and respect for institutions. It is very painful for Kenya that a conversation this crucial was hijacked by dangerous people who have caused us the kind of loss we have incurred as a nation today. It is possible that the criminals who rained terror on innocent people and attempted to challenge our law enforcement deployments are still determined to continue with their dangerous behavior. I assure the nation of the government's determination to fulfill its constitutional duty of protecting the people of Kenya against all forms of harm. I hereby put on notice the planners, financiers, orchestrators, and abettors of violence and anarchy that the security infrastructure established to protect our republic and its sovereignty will be deployed to secure the country and restore normalcy. It is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be peaceful protesters can rain terror against the people, their elected representatives, and the institutions established under our Constitution and expect to go scot-free. We must isolate crime from democratic expression and separate criminals from people exercising the freedom of expression and divergent opinion. I shall continue to lead a government that is fully committed to maintaining the integrity of our state promoting the unity of our nation, and enhancing the peace and security of all citizens and their livelihoods. I am bound under sacred constitutional mandate to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution of Kenya, which declares that all sovereign power belongs to the people, and that this power shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. The government will therefore uphold its constitutional mandate to secure our nation and its development, and shall treat every threat to national security and the integrity of our state as an existential danger to our republic. Accordingly, I assure Kenyans that we shall provide a full, effective, and expeditious response to today's treasonous events. Thank you.
Good people, this is what we received earlier from State House Nairobi, and we understand that all of us, including yourselves, are still digesting the implications and the message behind the speech that the president has given.
Perhaps the shortest you would ever find, in the shortest time possible. Absolutely. The head of state has spoken. What I take home is the fact that he confirms and affirms to the people of Kenya that indeed normalcy is what we will see restored. And I'm sure a majority of you then would say we certainly seek to see normalcy restored. Absolutely. Well, as a home of untold stories, what we commit to do for you, our dear viewers, is we'll keep an eye out, just like we did this day. We were everywhere, we covered everything, and we're bringing you that in this bulletin. We assure you that we shall be able to give you the absolute latest as and when it happens. And so tonight on the Daily Report and the People's Court, this is what we report. Of course, at least 8 people have been confirmed dead, with scores injured as protesters in the capital stormed Parliament and overtook the streets of the Central Business District alongside other towns across the country. Now, doctors, civil rights groups and independent observers have condemned the use of live bullets and brute force in broad daylight, saying if it goes unchecked, it could trigger total insurgency. Our very own reporter Hibak Said now reports on the scars of demonstrations.
At the protest that suddenly turned violent, between the lamentations of a people who do not feel heard, blended in the sirens of ambulances rushing to save the lives of the protesting Gen Zs who had the misfortune of being in the line of fire, literally.
Vibaya sana, vibaya, wanarusha hadi mawe, kisha wanatia gas wanatupa hadi mawe, na tia gas imekuwa mingi. Wanda kuna wengine walipuka hapo inararua watu kwa rua, ukiwa karibu naye za kuumiza hata inaweza rarua hata tumbo yako.
I have attended to 3 gunshot wound patients.
In this makeshift hospital set up behind Jamia Mosque, volunteer doctors could barely handle the increasing number of casualties, with the organizers of the project confirming 3 people with gunshot wounds had been brought in at the time. And a few streets away, still within the warring CBD, while some absent-mindedly played with empty gas canisters, a man fights for his life. The doctor, while confirming they're doing the best they can with what they have.
Working at Bliss Medical Center, kuna mgonjwa tumepata, currently yako hapa procedure room, tunamshughulikia. And then tunaomba mkwe cool kidogo tumalizie alafu. His friends panic with the heavy responsibilities of relaying the news to his family.
Nampiga hapa kwa tumbo hadi ukiangalia. It's very We don't know even how we can explain it.
With a gunshot wound to his abdomen, he is transferred to another hospital, his friends jittery over what his fate may be. At least 8 other families will find it hard to absorb this very same news of a kin no more, and presumably burning with rage that the police turned on the people they were meant to protect.
Mimi vile nimesimama hapa, one of my friends amepigwa risasi hapo Parliament House, amepelekwa City Mortuary.
In the smoky skies of the city under the sun, independent observers had very few good things to say about law enforcers, the uniformed versus the people. And as it gets darker, the loud bangs of bullets drives jitters in the hearts of Kenyans, many of whom will be keen to run a tally in the morning, a tally that could paint a picture of the truth and reveal the identities of those who are no more. With several already confirmed dead and scores others injured, whatever the Cabinet Secretary for Interior Kithure Kindiki said about the police being, of course, the protectors of the people comes in doubt. And as it gets darker, one would only wonder if this number will get higher. Hibak Said for TV 47 from CBD, Nairobi.
Right, thank you, Hibak Said, for that. Now, protesters have vandalized the National Parliament premises, including the National Assembly chambers and Senate chambers, expressing their anger for National Assembly passing the Finance Bill 2024.
Yes, as our senior political affairs reporter Elizabeth Mutuku reports, the protesters overpowered Parliament security detail, gaining access to the most crucial designated areas of Parliament with the aim of getting away with the mess in both houses, though this never happened following the guarded nature.
As soon as the Speaker of National Assembly made the communication about the division of Finance Bill 2023 with 195 voting yes, 105 nays and 3 abstention, Azimio members of Parliament stormed out of the chambers in protest of what they termed as Parliament lacking the honours of Kenyans at heart.
To them, you told them they will get free sanitary pads. You promised them jobs. Today you are telling them to go to Saudi Arabia to be maids, to wash dishes for Arabs. We are saying no.
Use this. These are innocent children who are fighting for their rights. I think the president should say, rais na watoto. Rais yuko na watoto. Polisi wanaua. Angalia kijana hapa anauawa.
The Parliament main entrance met with already charged protesters ready to access the premises. The determined protesters overpowering the Parliament's security, thus gaining access, even some jumping through the dangerous grilled fence. And charged protesters who got a chance to be in the chambers vandalized all what could meet their eyes out of its worth, and in their murmurs their target was not only the chambers but prestigious mess in both houses.
Wacha tukupeleke dining area.
Of the areas which were not spared include National Assembly chambers, Senate chambers, Peace Restaurant, with some even feeding on the food, among other key areas.
Sorry.
Followed, House leaders and MPs forced to flee for their safety, some even using ambulances to leave the premises. The newly built tunnel came in handy for enabling their safety, taking shelter to the new Bunge Towers as they waited for the situation to calm down. After the multi-million damage in this Parliament, the much awaited is the next move from executive as well as National Assembly leadership. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV 47 Pub Biddings, Nairobi.
Well, Elizabeth Mutuku, thank you for that update. We still have lots lined up for you in relation to the protest, but at this very point, we must pay the bills for a second, then we're back with much more.
Absolutely. We all need to take a
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that, so when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO and the rest of.
What point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Ambao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Here on Beyond the Limit, we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of individuals who redefine possibilities. In a journey of resilience and determination, these individuals demonstrate that limitations are merely stepping stones to greatness.
I'm Nancy Njoroge, a mother of 3. I have 2 girls and a boy who is Clinton and who is autistic.
When my heart got healed, I decided to come out to be creating CP awareness, to let other people know that there is such a condition, and people that has it is not that they are witches.
Together, let's go beyond the limit every Saturday at 8 p.m.
Welcome to The Realtor, where we take you on an exciting journey from bare land to dream home. Step 1. Finding the perfect plot. We explore location, size, and potential. Next, construction begins. Witness the foundation being laid, walls rising, and rooms taking shape. Step 3. Electricity matters. We delve into wiring, switches, and smart home tech. Step 4. From paint choices to fixtures, it's all about aesthetics. Step 5. It's time to get the right furniture. Finally, the big day. Time to move in and create memories. Join us on the journey to making homes a reality on The Realtor, Tuesdays 6:30.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that, so when in the
47 in Nairobi.
Well, and as initially promised by the anti-finance bill protesters, about Tuesday, the country saw widespread turmoil and violence throughout major towns, that including the capital, as demonstrators clashed with police, resulting in the destruction of properties worth millions and deaths of several people.
Now here in Nairobi, demonstrators occupied several streets on their mission to occupy Parliament, paralyzing transport and business.
And as Mike Agwongo then reports, members of Parliament went on to vote yes for the controversial finance bill, resulting to massive invasion of demonstrators in Parliament's building.
The gloom and doom between protesters and police officers saw the better part of Tuesday come to a standstill in the capital. Crippling business along major streets, signaling a murky antagonism between the Gen Zs and the armed law enforcers. In the morning, a number of non-violent demonstrators in Nairobi's CBD increased rapidly, prompting the anti-riot police to sporadically disperse them with tear gas and water cannons. Police had managed to earlier block protesters from accessing CBD by mounting barriers along major highways, including Thika Road, Mombasa Road, and Waiyaki. However, shortly after members of Parliament voted to pass the Finance Bill 2024, protests, which had begun as peaceful demos by Gen Z, took a drastically different turn, with reinforcement from a group of youth believed to emanate from Eastleigh and Kibra. The demonstrators overpowered police officers before touching this police vehicle outside Parliament building. It was at this point that police reportedly fired live ammunition at the protesters, killing a few of them as they found their way to Parliament buildings.
Mr. President, whatever you are doing is not right. And there is nothing presidential about you. So, Mr. Ruto, what you are doing is not right. This is not okay.
We are not going to relent anymore. It's not today, neither tomorrow. Unless we reject.
William Samoei Arap Ruto alituajiri mpaka ukanzo hii bill ya 2024-2025. Sisi tuko na raia mpaka mwisho.
Members of Parliament were evacuated using ambulance vehicles from Bunge Towers as protesters invaded the August House. Their main agenda was to occupy Parliament buildings and Parliament Road before the government deployed KDF officers who dispersed them across Nairobi streets. Mike Kagwango, TV 47, Nairobi.
Right.
Thank you, Mike, for that.
Thank you, Mike, for that, and thank you for the entire team who made this a reality. Now, amidst the stinging clouds of tear gas, the running battles between police and protesters against the Finance Bill 2024, some men occupied the country's capital with a different mission: to mint money.
Well, a section of Kenyans took to the opportunity, that is to trade what one would term as essential goods during the protest, with some selling face masks and of course others water and even some street food, as a majority of businesses remained closed.
Oige William was in the Nairobi Central Business District and filed this report.
Such were the sights and sounds on Tuesday within the country's capital, an area many will consider a no-go zone, as protesters brought every business in Nairobi to a standstill. Clouds of tear gas everywhere, as sounds of gunshots rocked the air, with protesters engaging anti-riot police in running battles within streets of Nairobi. With the situation remaining tense, businesses remained closed, but bravely amidst the chaos, this man was in the city for a different mission: to actualize his vision by doing business.
Nauza maji hapa, ninauza dawa ya kuzuia tear gas. Nikikupaka hii na shilingi 10 kwa uso, pile nachipaka hivi, utaona hiyo tear gas itakukaribia. Itakuwa inapita tu kando.
This was the same for Edwin Kagia and Francis Mtemi, who sold face masks to protesters, saying this was to protect them from the stinging tear gas thrown by police.
Dawa ya tear gas, when I do like this, si lazima nifanya hivi macho, so inasaidia sana.
tunauza 100 in case ya mtu anataka.
Mask moja saa hii kila msako na bei yake. Jumii inauza yangu na 10 bob, but ukienda kwingine wanauza na 20 bob. But sasa kila mtu hiyo biti yako na hiyo bei yako ndio itafanya uuze ama ukae nazo.
Along Tomboya Street, food was plenty for protesters, courtesy of these 2 youthful men who are selling a street food popularly known as smocha.
Nauza na mayai huko Nairobi, lakini kazi leo imekuwa kazi mbaya kwa sababu leo kuna maandamano na bana hii financial bill imetunyanyasa kabisa.
Tukana tutausie kiasi dakika hivi tukifunga.
Na watu watakuwa njaa, watakimbia huko na huko, watakuwa njaa, lazima wakule.
As the likes of Kazungu and others smile because of their booming business, in some parts of the Nairobi Central Business District, people were counting losses, partly due to their businesses remaining shut and in some cases due to protesters turning rowdy and breaking and looting from stores, leaving behind a trail of destruction.
Nairobi, the city under the sun, and every business has come to a standstill. What remains is when normalcy will return. Mike William, TV 47, Nairobi.
Well, a beautiful side of the story after all, when business is booming.
The unbeaten spirit.
You know, away from it, thousands of youth came out in large groups in various counties, often termed as the president's forts.
For example, in Kapsabet town of Nandi County, they pressured MPs to reject the 2024 finance bill.
This, as Ruto tells us.
Photos and videos of protesters went viral in Eldoret, Lodwar, Kapsabet and Nakuru cities. What drove these people from their homes and jobs? Seemingly their disappointment and anger over the proposals in the 2024 finance bill.
Tunasema tunafanyaje? Kwa majina naitwa Ivan Skipkorir Sarem. Tumesimama hapa leo. We are saying, Mr. President, listen to us. We have no problem with you. What we are saying no to punitive taxes. Yes. Jenzi munakubali. And also we are saying, we do not want. Tunasema hawa cartels wanatusumbua. Hatuwataki. We are saying no to punitive taxes, to bad governance. What we want is transparency, and as youth, what we also want is accountability.
That this bill is not a good bill to the youths and to the benefit of all the Kenyans. This bill underpins the future of our youths.
However, these areas are often referred to as key strongholds of President William Ruto. This includes Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Kericho, West Pokot and Nakuru. Residents from these areas describing hardships since they gave Ruto a chance in the year 2022.
My name is Mesha Kiprotich. I'm a youth from Kericho County. We are so much disappointed in the parliamentarians of Kericho County.
Hii mambo ya saka kutuambia tu kesho leo anafanya hii kesho anaongeza. Leo anadanganya na hii kesho anafunika na nyingine. Hii haiwezekani, tumechoka.
Residents of Eldoret and Lodwar, on the other hand, tore down banners of the UDA party, which are the once honored emblems of loyalty to his leadership, which have been present since the election year. These protesters were further angered by MPs who supported the bill, calling them betrayers who ignored the opinions of citizens, yet they are struggling with the high cost of living.
You are not appointed, you are elected by the members from the ground. Those who are appointed are supposed to follow the directives from the president. But for our case here, we want to tell you your days are numbered na chuma chenu ki motoni.
Ruga Ival, TV 47.
Right, tonight, the clergy are now asking the president, Dr. William Ruto, not to assent to the embattled Finance Bill 2024, saying that it will only fuel rage among Kenyans.
While speaking during a press conference earlier today, they have also lauded the proactiveness of the Gen Z in organizing the protest, while also cautioning them to ensure their safety, especially with the police being involved.
Catholic bishops have condemned the use of force by police to disperse protesters in the ongoing anti-finance bill protests.
Decry and condemn in the strongest terms the use of force by the police, the arrests, and the indiscriminate and unnecessary use of live bullets.
The men of the cloth came out tongue wagging after a section of Kenyans accused them of not giving the demonstrations good treatment.
Churches accommodate people irrespective of their opinions or political standing. However, we emphasize that we, the Catholic bishops, have issued clear guidelines to our priests and pastoral agents not to use liturgical spaces for political agitation of any kind.
The clergy have asked President Ruto not to assent to the controversial Finance Bill 2024, saying it will further fuel revolt.
I believe the President has the means and the will to bring back sanity to our nation by not signing the Finance Bill into law.
Kenyans have also been urged to pray for guidance and wisdom as they seek to ensure the cost of living is reduced to suit the common mwananchi.
We seek justice for a fair tax regime. Let us do so peacefully as citizens and as the government.
The ongoing demonstrations have rocked the country, with protesters engaging in running battles with the police. Vera Alberta, TV47, Nairobi.
All right, Azimio la Umoja leaders have accused President William Ruto's government for allowing police officers to apply force during the protest of rejecting the 2024 finance bill.
Now, according to the DAPK leader, Eugene Wamalwa, the protest was peaceful, but police were forced to apply tear gas, leading to the deaths and injuries of some protesters.
After messy demonstrations that led to several people being injured while others reported dead, the Azimio la Umoja coalition is now calling for the withdrawal of the 2024 finance bill. This after thousands of people broke into parliament and destroyed properties. The coalition led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka says President William Ruto's government has terribly failed, as this is evident due to lack of trust by Kenyans.
And shockingly, their cause, clarion cause, were not heeded, resulting in a matter that has never happened in the history of this country, where symbolically the Kenyan people have withdrawn their delegated authority to Parliament by taking hold of the mace, and that actually means the sovereign power.
In a quick rejoinder, DAPK leader and former Minister for Defense Eugene Wamalwa is now calling upon the government to release people who are reported to be abducted by unknown people since the first demonstrations were held.
Na leo tunataka tukashifu kabisa kitendo hiki cha kihalifu, polisi waliotumia risasi kuua watoto wetu, na tuambie ya kwamba wote wataajibika mbele ya sheria. Pili, tunataka tuseme ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Ruto alikuwa amesema kule Nyahururu ya kwamba ako tayari kuwasikiza Wakenya na haswa kizazi cha Gen Z, na leo badala ya kuwasikiza ameamuru polisi wake kurusha risasi, kurusha tear gas, kuwajeruhi na kuwaua watoto wetu.
Earlier on, a section of Azimio leaders castigated the government for what they term as lack of confidence with President Ruto's leadership.
I want to say this again. Be afraid not. You have nothing to fear. This is your country, and you will take this movement to its logical conclusion. We are here on standby. If there is any need or requirement or help you need from us, let us know.
With all this turning out to be chaotic in the city, MPs were considering the Finance Bill 2024 through the Committee of the Whole House and finally passed the bill through the third reading moments after 2 p.m.
That what Kenyans are saying is that they are not interested in any amendment. And that's why I want to really applaud our members of the National Assembly from Azimio for withdrawing all the proposed amendments to the bill. Because Kenyans are very resolute on this matter. They are saying, reject, don't amend.
Opposition MPs who were protesting against the bill walked out of Parliament and tried to address protesters amid a standoff with security officers. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Paul, for that. Now, the Mount Kenya region was not left behind as protesters came out in numbers to reject the Finance Bill 2024.
The protesters said that they are not only rejecting the Finance Bill 2024, but also fighting against poor governance in the nation.
This is the picture cue of how murky the Ruto staff in the mountains proved in the ongoing revolt of the Finance Bill demos.
Leo tumerudi tena kuandamana sababu serikali haitusikizi kama millennials na Gen Z. For a very long time wameishi kusema we don't participate in politics. Sasa tuna participate. Sasa tumesoma bill hadi mtoto wangu mimi si mnaona nimeandika hapa hivi mama Gen Z. Mtoto wangu ni Gen Z na sasa is the last kwa group ya Gen Z.
The protesters are not only rejecting the bill, but also fighting poor governance in the country.
We are not rejecting the finance bill only. The finance bill is just to amplify what we are rejecting bad governance.
At the front line, the Gen Zs called out their leaders who allegedly betrayed them by voting yes for the finance bill and told them that they are no longer fools.
And to the MPs of the Kenya Kwanza government, we want to tell you, don't be sycophants to that illegitimate government. We want you to go govern the government in accordance to the objectives and the aims you promised the people of Kenya. We are no longer fools. The generation that you used to fool, now it's gone.
Ni kwamba tunataka maoni yetu inaheshimiwa. Hakuna vile mbunge wetu anaenda kufanya ile kitu sisi hatujasema. Ile kitu baada alichaguliwa atusikize sisi na kama hatatusikiza ataenda.
The mountain protesters said that they completely understand the process involved in creating the proposed budget bill and claimed that no public participation was held.
Bajeti ya Kenya tumejua vile huwa inapangwa hata tukiwa hapa mashinani. Ni ya kwamba mataikuni wenye makampuni wenye utajiri huwa wanapeleka interest zao zinakuwa included in the budget. Wao ndio wana participate pakubwa katika kutengeneza budget ya Kenya yote. Kwa hivyo tuna reject hii financial bill na tunasema ya kwamba yote idropiwe na iletwe kwa wananchi mashinani, public participation iwe.
In addition to this, the Gen Zs and the millennials in Mount Kenya region said that they are educated and the youths in the country can take up the leadership.
Vijana wenye wako sahi wamesoma, wako na uwezo ya kuongoza nchi kulingana na matakwa yao.
Anastasia Mkabi, TV 47.
Right, good people, we can see some of you, matter of fact, a lot of you are already commenting not just on the events of the day, but also on the speech that the president has given. There's Ben here asks a simple question: how did we get here? And somebody else here says they're worried about the direction that the country is taking. That is someone called Mukuru. Somebody else here says, beg your pardon, a lot of people are simply expressing just shock and surprise at what has happened today, as well as what was in the contents of the speech by the head of state.